I also told them that in their disappointment about America right now, watch America, watch how we deal with this. Watch how America will do the right thing. Watch what a nation of values and character, a nation that believes in justice, does to right this kind of a wrong. Watch how a nation such as ours will not tolerate such actions.
Why is this report important? It's important because we as a nation have to get this right. And so today, this report will hopefully put into focus some of the actions taken in the post 9/11 environment. There are some key questions we wanted to address this morning. One, did the treatment of suspected terrorists in U.S. custody rise the level of torture? Secondly, if so, how did this happen? And then what can we learn from this to make better decisions in the future?
When I saw the photographs from Abu Ghraib, I was absolutely dumbfounded that those images and the conduct that was revealed in those images could have been perpetrated by United States Army personnel.
The report of the Constitution Project's Task Force on Detainee Treatment is the result of 2 years of intensive study, investigation, and deliberation about U.S. treatment and policy toward detainees. The project was undertaken with the belief that it was important to provide an account as authoritative and as accurate as possible of how the United States treated people detained in its conflicts with al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and in Iraq.
So there was some investigative reporting involved? As well as legal research and kind of a synthesis and analysis of everything that they could get their hands on.
The Constitution Project, a nonpartisan public interest organization devoted to protecting the rule of law, gathered a group of individuals with distinguished careers in the judiciary, Congress, the diplomatic service, law enforcement, the military, and other parts of the executive branch, as well as recognized experts in law, medicine, and ethics. The group includes conservatives and liberals, Republicans and Democrats. Members have experience in and sensitivity to national security issues and a keen collective understanding of how government decisions are made.
You cannot read that report without quickly coming to the conclusion that the United States was involved torturing people. Unfortunately, in many instances, we tortured the wrong people. We tortured people who were guilty of nothing worse than being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or who had been sold for cash.
There were a lot of interesting reports related to what it was like to talk to government officials in countries like Poland and Romania and Lithuania and elsewhere about kind of what happened on their soil and how abusive the black site environments were, mainly our own country's contractors and CIA.
I have to say that the one thing that was most shocking to me was the way medicine was used against the detainees. I have read in the past about other countries doing this, countries that we called fascist, countries that we thought violated every rule in the book, but that is not America. And to find out that we've actually learned from what these other despicable countries, or regimes I should say, were doing, was very shocking to me.
Yes, I think there was official U.S. government practice of torture in a number of instances. Something that shouldn't have happened, something that is not good in our history. And I think we've had instances of these things in the past because we're a government of values, but we are a government run by people, and sometimes those people stray.
It was decided at the highest level that these were enemy combatants that are not entitled to the protections of the Geneva Convention. And to that extent, maybe that was fine if alternative methods or standards of dealing with them was laid down, but nothing was.
Well, I think it goes to the top. The president, the cabinet officers, commanders, all have to take responsibility for the injustices that occurred during this time frame. It was the first time, I believe, that the President of the United States and his top advisors actually talked about torture and decided specific types of torture or specific types of treatment, which amounted to torture, in the White House. So I think there was and then there were memos from different advisors to the president that clearly showed that the president knew of these discussions, knew the kinds of things that were being talked about and administered. So I think it does go to the top.
Every American needs to know who is doing what in our national security agencies, to the extent that that is possible for us to know.
It's interesting that the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence has evidently reviewed thousands and thousands of classified documents that the CIA has turned over. Presumably that includes the classified interrogation logs that were kept with respect to each of these prisoners. Only by reviewing those classified documents is anyone going to ever be able to determine with some definity whether the employment of waterboarding and whether waterboarding someone 183 times ever produced anything worthwhile. So far, the indications from those who have looked at the documents is that it didn't produce anything of value and certainly did not save tens of thousands of lives as has been represented.
This country is not the same if it doesn't preserve its principles on which it is founded. This is a country of laws. And to save the country by shortchanging the rule of law is to lose what this country stands for.
There can be no moving forward in health as a society unless we're willing to tell the truth about what happened, test the truth against our values, and make decisions about what we're going to do the next time. And so I believe that this task force report is the first major step, has the potential to be the first major step in doing that process of truth-telling, values testing, you might say, values accountability, and coming to terms so that we can do better in the future.